Thanks, Chair, and congratulations for your elections as a chairperson. I fully agree with the venue as proposed, but I will suggest that we request a free venue, either a hall or a chambers of the council or legislature, that we don't incur any cost in the execution of this responsibility. And even encourage the commission to do the same, to go and look for a venue that is available for such work, because we must not cost our people a lot of money. The other issue which I would want us to deal with, and I agree with Honorable Mateis, on us making submissions on the terms of reference, because I want us to deal with the aspect of the criminals who are already in prison, who might share a lot of information with us. Very dangerous criminals. How do we get them here? Can we summon them here? And all of that. Because you're talking drugs, if you're talking drugs and drugs cartel, you must know you're talking about some of the people who are already in prison, who might share a lot of light. So we need terms of reference that will clarify some of those things. Chairperson, thanks.
You'll understand where I come from on this matter. You know, the biggest concern when we, when you go back, you look at all the other committees in Parliament, you look at the Judicial Commission of Inquiries, the last line of defense is in Parliament. You know what happened with the former Chief Justice Chris Ngobo. The matter was taken to Parliament. What happened? It was a wasteful expenditure, because comrade closed ranks. So I hope this time, whatever happens, when this matter comes to Parliament, justice will be seen to be done. Because now we've taken a public purse. We wasted that money. It's like a fruitless expenditure. It pains our people even today that after that commission was established and the findings were there for anyone to see. But what happened? It was just a piece of paper. They came to Parliament, us as members, we're not honorable, as you said, that we must bring the dignity of this Parliament. No one must be protected in this ad hoc committee and in that Judicial Commission of Inquiry, irrespective of positions that people want to close ranks because they want to protect, they want to maintain the status quo. This is a time where South Africa must raise. General Mkhwanazi has raised the bar, and Parliament must do that as well.
Our main worry is that if you say we must wait for inputs from political parties, then that impacts the timelines. Whereas what we could do, Chair, we could simply circulate a draft, and of course, people would be able to comment on it. And of course, Chair, another thing is there's a lot of backroom legal technical support which needs to take place, and some of the issues we can deal with them when we meet in the management meeting, of course, under our leadership, Chairperson. Because Honorable Sangoni is correct, in saying the witnesses will have to be identified. And of course, Chairperson, I'm saying this with the greatest of respect. What General Mkhwanazi said, Chairperson, on the 6th of July, 2025, is not evidence, Chairperson, in a technical sense.
We as political parties represented or members represented in this committee, let's put a time frame for us to have our submissions also made by Friday. And I was going to say Friday, 12 o'clock during the day. So that what we receive from the team between now and Friday helps us to make up our mind whether we need to make additions or not. Because it may very well be that what they have already worked on takes into account what each one of us may be thinking must be added on the terms of references. So my firm proposal is that let's have that being released as soon as it could be possible. But the deadline for us is that by Friday, 12 o'clock during the day, we have our own submissions made so that they can be consolidated into one proposal that will in turn be resent back to all of us. So that by the time we meet to discuss the terms of references, we are familiar with what has been added by various members who are represented in this committee. Thank you very much.
I agree with what the chief will be saying, but you are all ignoring a very important proposal made by Honorable Mateis. Just give us the person who must send the proposals to. It's as simple as that. And then the proposals by end of Friday, midday, then they are closing. But if you give us a person now who will submit while seated here, because we've got those things. We didn't come here to play. We came here ready. And I don't know what is this remark that General Mkhwanazi is not what he presented is not evidence. I don't know where does that arise, because it doesn't arise at all. We're just trying to get an advice on how those things can be dealt with. General Mkhwanazi, you can't say what he presented is not evidence. We'll deal with that. We're still dealing with terms of reference. We can't start by saying General Mkhwanazi, what he said is not evidence. That's very dismissive. Right at the beginning, we're starting on a wrong footing. So please, when people are asked, especially support staff, they must not enter into the terrain. They must just give us technical advice and leave the rest to us. Because we're not going to live here being part of a remark that says what Mkhwanazi said is not evidence.
It's her right to do so. So we must avoid this thing of pulling each other with point of orders when it's unnecessary to do so.
Honorable Sokanyile, allow the member to speak and finish.
Thank you, Chair, once again. I know that this is a very sensitive matter. I've said this earlier, Chair. It's not about you. It should not be personal. People should not take it personal, you know. And I know some people will have heart feelings, heart failure, BP, and whatever you call it, high blood, and all those things. But as a committee here, we take no prisoners here. We are not just those, whether fifth administration or whatever administration. We must make a difference. When our term ends in this parliament, we must make a difference. There's nothing wrong with what honorable member has said, Adams. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not sure why now the people are catching feelings.
What I wanted to say, Chair, is that we cannot on the very first day want to collapse this process. And if we are going to have members coming here with the intention of being populist and trying to use what is a very, to quote your words, what you said is a grave concern of the people, they use that for cheap political point scoring, then we are going to have a problem. When you made your opening remarks, you said the people of South Africa are looking to us on this process. There will be no stone that is left unturned. And I think that as members, we should conduct ourselves in that manner and not come here and have to defend statements that are made with the intention of garnering attention for cameras. Thank you, Chair.
There's a difference between not being happy with the ANC occupying the position of a chairperson with a person occupying the position of a chairperson. So an impression must never be created that we have a problem with you. We have a problem with the ANC occupying that position. Secondly, you, chairperson, said we are politicians. Since there's no agenda or anything, let's speak. People speak here. When people speak because you open the floor, they are told they are speaking for cameras. As if some people have got a right here to come and give us notes and tell us what to say. We are not just speaking. The chairperson said speak because it's a first meeting. So we express ourselves and all of that, and then we leave. She's raising her observation on the position of the chairperson. There's no, because her observation doesn't change anything. It will not reverse what has democratically happened, but it's important that an observation be made by a member if she so wishes, because the chair opened the floor. Nowhere do they say democratic processes cannot be questioned. She's within her right. At no point of order is necessary, because she's not going out of any agreed upon agenda item. So, and she's speaking for the first time. Action SA is speaking for the first time. All we could have done it was to protect her and allow her to make observation, and we proceed. Not for her to be character assassinated the way people are doing now. I think she must be protected. To be called populist, to be called cameras, it's out of order. It's really unbecoming. It's unacceptable, especially when we're just starting. She has not done anything wrong, Chair, and that's a point I wanted to raise. Thanks.
The representative of the Action SA is perfectly at liberty to express her own views and her own discomfort about what her own organization and some South African perceived with regard to the process we're engaged on. But I think we need to say that both Action SA and those South Africans who may be aligned to the concern she has, I think they should find comfort in the fact that the committee has elected the chair who is not in any way fingered out on the matters that were required to investigate. In this committee, we represent different political parties. And I think our bona fide, in terms of how we're going to discharge our responsibilities in this work, must be measured and be assessed on the basis of our contributions, not on the basis of the political parties where we come from. Because if we take that direction, it's going to contaminate the work of the committee. And I don't think that we want to start off in that way. I think our own approach must be that we note this concern, and we don't just dismiss it. It may very well be that there are other people who are not here who share that concern. But the assurance we need to give to her and them is that as a committee, we are going to discharge our responsibilities in a way that is consistent with what is required by the Constitution of the Republic and the laws of Parliament as members of Parliament. And there should not be a fear that because there are others who are coming from this or the other political party, this might in any way contaminate negatively the process that we're engaged on. I think we need to give each other that assurance and get our work be tested in action, as opposed to what may be our own preconceived ideas about one another as we start our work. Thanks.